Give me just a second, guys. Trying to finish getting set up here. Going to post this to the Discord real quick. Alright, so gonna start out here. I want to go over how I build a weekly watch list using Tradytics. The tool on Tradytics that I'm going to be using is the Scanny tool. The first thing that I would typically do is I would come in and I go under scanners to the Scanny tool. And then under minimum volume, I'm going to put 3 million. I'm going to select optionable under scanner signals. And then I'm going to come over here to the inside outside days and we're going to look for inside days. Then I am going to sort from greatest to least by the volume column. So as you can see, we have a lot of inside bars that we closed at with on Friday. So we have AMD, SPY, Qqq, Nvidia, Snapchat, ARC, Microsoft, Bank of America, Facebook, Uber, Cisco, Square, Rivian. I mean, it's just a real big list here. So those were the first steps. Go to Scanny, enter your minimum volume of 3 million, select optionable, and then search for inside days. So now we're going to come over here and we're going to start with, we're going to look at AMD to start with. So if we pull up the AMD chart, we can see here that we have an inside day represented here by this yellow candle. So we're going to go ahead and set this up. I'm just going to go over these levels here now and I will post them in the Discord later. So for an inside bar breakout, you would want to mark the high of the inside bar and the low of the inside bar. So upside trigger would be 109.39, and I would typically agree with that, except this prior resistance of the candle from the day before, which the high of this candle was 109.50. So I would set my trigger right there at 109.50 on that one since they're so close together. And for a downside play, we'd be looking at puts under 104.65. So if we come over here to the 15 minute, let me get rid of this candle here. And let's do the 109.50. We can throw the extended trading hours in there. And to get your levels for the breakout, you would want to draw your Fibonacci from the bottom of your inside bar to the top of your inside bar for your upside levels. So it doesn't have to physically be attached to a candle. You just want your levels to add up. So 104.65 should be your bottom and 109.50 should be your top. And if we pull this down, now we can see our levels here. So above 109.50, and here is your price targets at the 10%, 23.6, 38.2, 50, and 61.8 extensions. For your downside, you would do the exact opposite. So we would go from the high to the low. And then our downside targets would be those same extensions there. Hey Chris, how you doing? What's up, man? Hope you had a good weekend. Anybody else tuning in, hope you guys had a good weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and actually send these to the Discord. So I will put them in the week ahead channel. So AM inside daily inside bar plays for the week. So AMD over 109.50, you would be looking at AMD over 109.50. Be looking at the 110 calls. And AMD under 104.65. Be looking at the 104 puts. Okay, so the next ticker we have on our list over here would be for SPY. SPY also has an inside bar. So if we come over here and we look at the daily time frame, we can see the inside bar is represented by this yellow candle here. What we would want to do is we would want to mark the high of the inside bar, and then we would want to mark the low. So those would be our two breakout levels. So for SPY, we'd be looking above 414.04 or below 410.54. And as we can see on SPY here, we were currently in a downtrend. If we draw a trend line from the low to the high, and we currently broke out of this downtrend, then if you look here, this blue line is representing the 5 EMA. And if you look, the candles are above the 5 EMA, and then they have actually developed. Let me get rid of this. You can see that we had two tweezer bottoms here rejecting off the 5 EMA level. So double bottom. Now it looks like we have built a flag. So here's your flagpole, and here is your flag. Hold on, that's a crappy drawing. Let me change this to the highlighter. So here's your flagpole, and here is your flag. And typically you'd want to see a bull flag break to the upside. So on Discord, we're looking for SPY over 414.05. And we could look at the 415 calls, and then SPY under 410.50. We'll call it, we'll round down. We can look at the 409 puts. And next on our list, we have QQQ. So QQQ also has, let me remove these prior drawings. So QQQ is interesting here. We have a heavy consolidation zone. So if we look at our first candle here, we can see that this candle was a doji, indecision candle. So the bulls and the bears, nobody could really take claim to that day, so we kind of fell in the middle, indecisive. So then we can see on our next day here, we had an outside bar. What an outside bar is when the high of the bar, right here, and the low of the bar are both greater, are both above and below the prior day's bar. So it basically engulfs the prior day's bar. So we have an outside bar there on the first, and followed by another outside bar on the second. So those are big ranges. Now we have an inside bar. So now the price action is inside of the prior day's range. So we would want to look for a breakout above the high or the low. The same thing with SPY and AMD. So we would be looking above 310.50.
Don't you dare. Oliver!
we would be looking at the 311 calls. And QQQ below.
So you got about 5 more minutes, bro, and you're back out of the. Mommy needs to sanitize them.
304.90. And we would be looking at the 304 puts. The way I pick my strike prices is I pick 1 or 2 strikes out from the current price. So next on our list, we've gone over AMD, and we went over SPY and QQQ. Now the next big one that I want to go over is Nvidia. So Nvidia is also in the same situation. We had this nice downtrend here, and then we broke out of the downtrend. The price is above the trend line, and now we are above the 5 EMA, your blue line here. So we have developed a bullish trend, and we currently have an inside bar of consolidation. So you want to draw your high and your low, and those would be your levels for your triggers. So Nvidia over 193.35. We'd be looking at the 195 calls, and Nvidia below 185.20. We'd be looking at the 182.50 puts. And I will post all the price targets for all these plays in either direction in the Discord after this video. But that is just a basic overview of how I go out and I build a weekly watch list. This was for inside bars, so if you would want to look for outside bars, you would remove the inside bar filter, and then we would look for an outside day. And as you can see, we have a small list here, and I honestly don't like any of these. They're not something that I trade day to day, so I'm not going to go over those. So that is a brief video on how I build a weekly watch list. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. I would greatly appreciate it. Catch you guys later.